Good morning. It's a beautiful morning for a run. So I will be touching base with you as we go. Boom.
So, this morning was another one that, if I'm honest, I just didn't want to run today. I didn't feel like it. I was sluggish. I did some heavy lifting yesterday, so my legs didn't want to move as fast today because I increased weights on my lifting. And I'm starting to get to that max point for my lifts. But I did it anyway. My goal is to be accountable. My goal isn't to run fast. My goal is to run. My goal isn't to beat my times every time that I run. My goal is consistency, accountability, and doing what I know other people wouldn't do. That way I can have the results other people aren't going to have. And I hope you make that same choice, and whatever your accountability is, whatever you're choosing to be accountable to, follow through for your self-image, for the example that you're setting to your family and those around you. Yeah. Started out with no motivation. I finished motivated about running. I did not feel like running at all. But that doesn't have anything to do with it. Remember that.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in your day. Welcome to the Accountability Project, where we condense the pain of personal growth and development. Today's book, Science of Success, we're talking about showmanship and how there's wisdom in showmanship, and that showmanship doesn't necessarily have to be something glamorous. It doesn't have to be something massive and big. But showmanship can also be subtle. It can be a level of wisdom and knowledge. It can be a level of gratitude. For instance, they share an example of a young man who was in sales of some sort, and when he made a sale, he would send a letter to the manufacturing portion of the company, send a letter to the administrative portion of the company, thanking them for the work that they did and the quality of the product when they opened it at the site, and things like that create just a next level of class, right? People look at you and say, that's a classy guy, the guy that hand writes a note of thanks to his employees or to a friend, or sends birthday cards, even in this digital era where most of us send a Bitmoji, right? When someone gets a handwritten thank you for being a customer, gets an appreciation, an invite to an event. They shared an example of a gentleman that pulled together the resources of a community to build a house for someone that needed some help. And then part of that, he got everyone to basically have a picnic after the house was built, and it took one day to erect the whole house and then do this picnic. And then at the end, he gave his quick little 5-minute speech about hoping that they would endorse him in his bid for sheriff that year. And it was a level of showmanship because he did something great in the community in a way that impacted people before he asked for support in what he was trying to get done. So he was giving value before asking for value. And so that's something that's just beautiful with showmanship. But also showmanship can be the other extreme where we look at like the ShamWows of the world, right? Billy Mays, he had showmanship. He was able to be enthusiastic and energetic and all those things. And you can have showmanship without necessarily having that high level of intensity, but a level of enthusiasm that shows through what you're doing. So I think that this chapter very well wrapped that up. Moving on to the power of the other. So in here, we're talking about freedom and control. And it's interesting the way that he framed this chapter as part of the necessity of kind of pulling the two thoughts that we usually think are mutually exclusive, right? That either you are responsible for your thoughts, actions, deeds that lead to your success, so it's all you, or others are responsible for your success, so it doesn't really have that much to do with you, and that they're not necessarily mutually exclusive, meaning that you are responsible for controlling yourself and controlling the things that you do, because you still have to do the things that create success. However, certain doors, certain opportunities, certain aspects of that are only effective with other people there to elevate you, to give you that extra boost, to be that other that gives you that lift, whether that's spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially. It's a combination of the two. And so having a corner for relationship that is quality enough that they give you the freedom and autonomy to know this is my life, I'm responsible for the consequences, so I'm taking action, and still being willing to back you even if they disagree with you, is powerful. But also taking that responsibility of self-control. They use the example of Jack Nicklaus on his amazing U.S. Open win, where he's mid backswing and feels the wind change, and he shifted slightly and changed the direction, the angle of his club mid backstroke, so that when he hit it, he pops it up and it hits the pin and drops inches away from the hole, and ultimately he ends up winning the U.S. Open. And when they asked him about it, he's like, "It's my swing," right? He owned it. So if he was successful, it was his success. If he failed, it was his failure or his missed shot or what. He wasn't going to blame the wind. He wasn't going to blame the guy who talked in his backswing. He wasn't going to blame any of the X factors. He was going to take responsibility, and that takes a level of self-control that's unreal. And a level of skill to be able to have the self-control to change direction. And that's one of the things that leads to the masterful levels of some of these people that we talk about when we're talking about success. But I think we can also develop them internally, within our homes, within our finances, within our faith, within our businesses, within our employment at our jobs, and be proactively in self-control, controlling the things we can control. Kind of like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, we talked about the control what you can control, and then influence what you can influence, but allow yourself to be influenced by the right others. And if you are an other for someone else, if you're that encouraging factor, that corner for person for someone else, give them the freedom and the autonomy to own their own situation. Don't micromanage. So anyway, I wanted to share that today. I love you guys. Condense the pain of personal growth. Stay accountable. Talk to you soon. Bloop.